When I gave my life to God and I decided, like, I can't do this anymore, I don't know what I'm doing and I'm never gonna figure it out, but I know that you can because you've done it for other people, everything changed. Everything changed. My decisions changed, my mindset changed, my beliefs changed. My attitude and outlook upon life became something that I could have never come up with myself, ever. It started out with kind of just experimenting, right? I had all these emotions, I had all these feelings, and I didn't really know how to like communicate them properly with like my parents or my friends or anyone around me. So I kind of kept them inside. And with that, over time, it kind of just got overbearing. And I had to use substances to cope with them. When I first smoked, I was probably 10, close to 11 years old, around there. At first, it was really fun. I was just like, this is amazing. Like, why would someone hate this? Why would I not want to do this? And I think it was the fact that I was just in myself all of the time, right? Like, I was only thinking about me. I was only thinking about what I needed. My parents would always tell me, like, the world doesn't revolve around you, you know, but it did. It really did. In my mind, everything was about me. Everything was about how can I feel better? Everything was about, like, how can I get money? How can I feel better? And how can I be happy?
I was waking up and drinking at least half of a handle of vodka every morning. I was absolutely unable to speak to my family unless I was screaming at them about something that they did wrong or something that like I wasn't getting from those relationships. I was doing Molly a lot and every other day it seemed, and I was an Advent cocaine user. And at this point in my life, before I hit rock bottom, I didn't really have anybody or like any friends or anything like that, and I was just constantly like trying to fill this like void by just doing like things where I like got feelings, like good feelings right off the bat, and then would just plateau and then had to just keep going over and over and over again to keep it going.
You know, you sort of know when a kid's getting into trouble. I knew he was doing some things he shouldn't. We had some pretty clear evidence that he was dealing. And at the time, I used the old reliable parenting method of denial. Like, no, I don't think that's right. It's fine.
My daughter started struggling in the last year of middle school. When she transitioned to high school, the summer before, she started hanging out with a group of friends that introduced her to drugs. She started high school and she increased her involvement with that lifestyle. When the kids are starting to get involved with drugs or alcohol, and you know that they're doing something, but you may not necessarily be able to prove it, it's very isolating. You love your kids, you want to do everything for them, but finding resources is very hard.
Something would come up where my parents would catch me, like, they caught me one time drinking, and I told myself, I'm like, okay, I'm done for a while. Like, I'm gonna calm down, I'm gonna slow down. And like a couple days later, I'm just like, whatever, not a big deal. I'm just gonna go right back into it. And I would just lie to myself and be like, no, you need this. Like, this is fun, this is amazing. Because I still believe that from when I was younger, that it was something that I needed and something that helped me connect with others and made me feel good about myself. And progressively, those lies, I think, just compounded and compounded and compounded. And then eventually, the lie was just too big, and it started to not only impact me, but it started to impact my relationships with people, with my family, with friends, with the school district, with everything. It started to impact every single area of my life. And I didn't even see it because I was just lying to myself.
A few friends and I were just like having a night, and I distinctly remember I brought a lot of booze and I drank all of it, and then I like was blacked out, and I remember like 4 things I said to one of my last and only and really good friends at the time. I said some of the most horrendous things I've ever said to another human being that night. And I woke up and everything was kind of like playing through my brain. And it was as if I was in like a movie and everything zoomed out and I was like, okay, like I never want to do this stuff again. Or say these things to people that I care and love about again. And so that was that. And I just remember that feeling as if it was yesterday of being like, I just do not want to be that like evil anymore.
Coming into school the next day after I had sold drugs to this kid, I knew that something bad was gonna happen. It's a hard feeling to describe, but this confidence that was built on toothpicks, right? Like I had all this confidence all right here, but like one toothpick was holding it all up, and I was putting all of my energy into making sure that one toothpick didn't fall. And it did, obviously. And after it did, I remember feeling like I had nowhere to go. I was scrambling in my head because I'm like, why didn't this toothpick hold? Why didn't this work? Why can I not control this, right? I felt a major lack of control. I felt just terrified about what could happen because I didn't know. For the first time, I had no idea.
He got expelled from Arapahoe for selling, and our reaction collectively was like, we are gonna right this wrong. This is completely unjust. Didn't matter anyway, and that was such a dumb reaction.
I remember for the millionth time sitting with my parents in the same spot that I'd been a million other times, lying to them. And I tried to lie about it one more time. I sat down and I told them I didn't do this, I promise, with like the worst grin on my face. And I tried one last time and it failed. Finally, what I was doing wouldn't work anymore. So I remember just feeling broken inside. I ended up crying and just telling them like, yes, I did this. And I'm sorry, because I don't know what to do. I have no idea. Like, I have no idea what is gonna happen. I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I'm gonna tell you guys because it's something different. I got honest for the first time ever. And it was a feeling of relief. It was a feeling of like, it was a little bit of hope.
He was really on kind of lockdown, right? We were really upset about what had happened. He wasn't allowed to go anywhere. I mean, he was very much limited in what he could do. And he came to us and said, hey, I have this friend who invited me to go to this thing called Full Circle. So I'm like, what is this cult that he's being invited to partake in? But we allowed him to go. It was like, okay. And then Grant came to us and was like, hey, I need to have an honest conversation with you guys. That's really terrifying, just to like confront what he's been doing. And he said, I really want you to come to a meeting and check it out. So I started coming, and I've been here ever since, almost 2 years. So it'll be 2 years in November that I've been in Full Circle.
Basically, it came to a point where it was unmanageable even for her. I can't remember much about that time, to tell you the truth, because I was also in chaos. There was a lot of pain that you have for what your daughter is going through. So I don't remember exactly what my expectations were when I came here. I just knew that if she was going to go somewhere and actually take a brave step of looking for a recovery, I was going to be there right with her. So I came to Full Circle, and Full Circle offers parent meetings, which are a lifesaver. And the idea is that if families are involved, the odds of the kid actually being able to recover and stay in recovery are exponential, that if they try to do it on their own. So I came to the parent meeting, heard that, and right away, I said, I'm on board because I love my kid and I'll do anything for her. So I'm forever grateful to Full Circle. Yeah.
I came in thinking, I'm here for my kid. Like I really did. He's clearly screwed up. He has an issue. He needs to be fixed. So I kind of came in, and you do see this with parents that are new, right? Like, are you guys gonna fix him? She's got serious issues. You guys gonna take care of that? And It took me a while to get the memo, like, I got some issues myself, right? I have some things that I'm not handling the way that I should. And that's, again, one of the beauties of the 12 steps, is it forces you to really confront some hard questions.
The next morning, I called my principal and told him, and just got honest with him as well. And I kind of just had this moment of surrender. I gave my life to God that night and said, I can't do this anymore, and I know that you can, because that's what I've heard my whole life, is that you can save me, you can help me, but I've believed that I could. And I finally had a moment where it wasn't working. What I was doing wasn't working, so I was willing to try a different, new way. And I felt hope, I felt power, I felt encouraged. And I remember for the first time, I opened up to the love that my parents had, right? They'd always explained to me, like, no matter what you do, we'll always love you. We'll always care about you. We'll always be there for you. I just didn't believe it because I didn't want to, because I was angry. There was a moment when we had my expulsion meeting with some people from the LPS school system, and the principal, like everyone was there, my parents, and I was driving home with my mom. We ended up getting Qdoba, and she explained to me, she's like, we're gonna get through this. We're gonna try. We're gonna work together. We're gonna figure this out, because I see something in this. And I didn't know what she was talking about at the time at all, but it felt like real love, and it was powerful. Yeah.
I have walked this journey with her since day one. So we both have been here for about 2 years. And it has been a life changer. I have my kid back. I have my family back. She's still a teenager, of course, but we now are able to talk basically the same language.
I don't think I was aware of it at the time, but I was just so lost and just so sad. But I mean, looking back, it's profound. Yeah, it's a miracle. Because like, I don't know, like I genuinely thought like I was destined to die alone, and like never actually like experience like the real like love of a friendship, let alone like my family or anything like that. And like tonight, like I'm gonna go get dinner with my entire family at Maggiano's. I have a relationship with all of my family that I didn't really think was possible, which is just like so unfathomable. Like that's just like a power so much greater than me. Like that's crazy. Yeah.
God was always there for me. Every single day I would pray, I would meditate, I would journal, and it would just, it would, I don't know how to explain it, but it didn't feel real, right? It felt like something else was working through me the entire time, which, I mean, I don't know. No science behind that, but like, I'm here today and I'm sober and I'm free. And I genuinely believe it's all because of the power that God bestowed upon me, and the grace too. I felt forgiven, I felt loved, I felt just so much power that I didn't have, because the power that I had and lived out of got me into drugs, got me into terrible relationships, gave me the worst family life ever, terrible mindset. That was my power, right? But when I gave my life to God and I decided like, I can't do this anymore, I don't know what I'm doing and I'm never gonna figure it out, but I know that you can because you've done it for other people, everything changed. Everything changed. My decisions changed, my mindset changed, my beliefs changed, my attitude and outlook upon life became something that I could have never come up with myself, ever.
You're not alone. And that may seem cliche, however, I think that I really thought that I was, and although like those are words, like it is true. Like I was like, I'm alone, but it's like I never was. I never was. Yeah.